They even scale the walls.
I can see at least half a dozen protesters scaling.
These protests come after Trump's recent executive orders to change immigration policy and just weeks after deadly plane crashes firing workers at the Federal Aviation Administration.
In recent years, political polarization has been increasing, creating challenges for social cohesion and democratic institutions. The divide between opposing political groups has grown, with ideological differences becoming more pronounced and mutual distrust more common. This polarization is influenced by several factors, including the rise of partisan media, social media echo chambers, and divisive political rhetoric. As a result, finding common ground has become more difficult, leading to legislative gridlock and a decline in trust towards political systems and institutions. Debates over issues like election processes, healthcare, and climate change have become more contentious, making compromise harder to achieve. If this trend continues, it could weaken democratic norms, reduce opportunities for constructive dialogue, and hinder progress on important social and economic challenges. We have developed an app designed to foster open political discourse by recommending posts that are as unbiased as possible. Recognizing the dangers of social media echo chambers, our platform aims to break down these barriers by increasing the diversity of content presented to each user. Echo chambers can reinforce narrow perspectives and contribute to the spread of misinformation, fueling belief in harmful conspiracy theories such as vaccine skepticism, flat earth theories, and climate change denial. To counter this, our app prioritizes presenting evidence based content from a wide range of voices. By encouraging exposure to diverse viewpoints and fostering respectful dialogue, we aim to create a space where users can engage with differing perspectives, broaden their understanding of complex issues, and participate in more constructive and informed discussions. Our app is called Polar, and I'll be giving you a quick run through of both the user interface as well as the code we wrote for the backend. So this is what a user's Now I'll give a quick run through of our app, which is called Polar. Just make sure, yes, viewing the entire screen. So this is our application. This is what happens when you log in and you are on your feed. And if you scroll down, you can see news content created by other users that are, we try to randomize the topics as much as possible when you scroll down, as well as the perspectives. And however, we also have this right button. When you scroll right, it shows you different news content that are related to the previous news content, but has a very different bias score. So it's basically topics that are as similar in a background, but as different in bias or in perspective. So we try to break out of that echo chamber. Um, and we also have a learn more button over here that will, we haven't connected it to the back end, but basically when you press it, it will give you a very unbiased view on the background on the topic, if you think the content that you're watching is very biased, as well as a lot of credible sources so that you can learn more about the topic. So basically we want these videos to allow open discourse and voices from every single user, regardless of their background, while allowing credibility as well as evidence supported summaries. And we haven't implemented it, but we also have a user page that allows the user to upload their own videos. So I'll give a quick run through of how our code works. So, so basically we use React for the front end. And as you can see, this is our React code. Page.txt has it, and it's it basically allows us to scroll down and press the right button. And now I'll go through all our backend code, which we used Flask for. So basically, starting from when a user uploads a file, it first will It'll first transcribe that file. So it'll basically take the MP3 of the file and then get a transcript for it. It does this in transcript.py, and it uses a Whisper model from Hugging Face to do this. And then it'll vectorize the transcript, which we use all mini LM to do. So we get an embedding for that. And then in app.py, we have the get bias score, where we pass in the transcript and it will calculate the level of bias. If the more positive it is, the more conservative; the more negative, the more progressive the video is. And then once we have all this information, we will store it in a MongoDB database, the MongoDB Atlas database, which is also on the cloud. So we'll have the uploader ID, the URL for the video, the transcript, bias score, as well as embedding. We also have a users.py schema which saves the username, the email of the user, and the bias score of the user. This bias score of the user is basically how biased the past content was of what they watched in the past. And then basically going to our Flask backend, we have the following functions. So what get bias score does is it basically finds the bias of a user. It finds the bias of the user given that they've just currently watched a new video, and it's designed to update a user's bias score based on their interaction with a new piece of content, which we refer to as a poll. This is a form of incremental averaging where the influence of each new interaction decreases the number of interaction as the number of interaction increases. And then we have a randomized feed function, which is called when a user scrolls down. And this will basically where this is basically responsible for selecting a video that helps balance the user's bias score. And it does this by recommending content that moves the user's bias closer to neutrality or zero. And then we have the get similar video, which is called when a user clicks a right button on the app. And what it does is it retrieves a video that is most similar to a given video. And this feature helps users explore related content, potentially based on topic similarity. And finally, we have our learn more. Our Learn More file, which basically uses the Mistral LLM from Hugging Face to provide a neutral blurb on the topic that they're watching, as well as some sources that can verify the credibility of the content that you are watching. So that is a basic run through of our application, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
Okay, everyone.